What's up, everybody?
Hey, guys!
Alright, just making sure you're awake. Alright, so it's 2014. And by December 25th of this year, we've already have been together for six years.
Who decides to do 6 like that?
Why not?
It's like 6 years.
It's more creative this way.
What the hell?
And it looks more like a bear anyways.
I think the general public probably does this.
It looks more like a bear.
Wow, you went like this. That's hard.
Fine, next time go to the supermarket and be like, I want 6 apples. And see what they do.
That's fucking people up. They're gonna think 7. Anyway.
6 apples. Well, anyways, by the end of the year, we would have been together for 6 years, which is a long fucking time.
Yeah.
Because, like you were saying, if we would have, well, before we turned on the camera, you were saying that if we would have had sex and you would have had a baby.
The first time we got together.
As soon as I pulled out and a baby came out at the same time,
yeah,
that baby would be in 1st grade already.
Yeah, that's pretty. That's to put it in perspective. That's how long we've been together.
Yeah.
A little kid would be starting his education.
And also, since we're both in our late 20s now, I'm not gonna say how late, but
are we now?
but it's gonna be in the late 20s. It's almost that time for that big word.
What is what? Old? M?
Yeah.
Oh.
The M for
or
marriage.
The W.
For marriage. What's the W?
Wedding.
Wedding. Woo-hoo. Yeah. So it's about that time. But the thing is, both me and her, well, for me actually, I really don't believe in weddings.
What don't you believe about them?
I feel like that when you really like someone, you don't need a piece of paper to certify that you guys are gonna stay together forever. I don't think you need a piece of paper. I don't think it needs to be officialized. I think it should be something that's kept in your heart, kept in the other person's heart. Because, for example, you don't need a piece of paper to signify how much you love your parents. You don't need a piece of paper to signify how much you love your brothers and sisters, and you definitely don't have motherfuckers getting on their knees proposing to the best friend going, hey, will you be my best friend forever?
But I think you don't need the piece of paper to show that you're committed to a family member because you physically look like them and you resemble them. So it's kind of like, even if you wanted to deny them and you wanted to separate from them or break up from them, it's like, that's your kind of contract, like your physical features, so you look like them. So that's kind of like your wedding certificate version of that.
I still know people that ran away.
That happens. That happens. But I think for people that like, I don't know what the reasoning is, but I think there's some sense of security knowing that you're going into this like business transaction with the same understanding in mind. So both parties get together, they sign this contract that's like, hey, I'm letting you and the rest of the country know that I'm in it for the long run.
So for that, the business transaction, I agree with. Because the business transaction wise, what happens is 2 people, they enter into a binding agreement. They're gonna stake out the rest of their lives together. So now everyone's financials are together. If one of you guys accrue a shit ton of debt, gets divorced, guess what? If you don't have prenups or whatever, you're gonna also take on that debt. It's like all of your financials are together. The rest of your life, all your decisions that you make are gonna affect each other, right? Yeah. I understand the business part, but the other part where you have to buy a ring, you have to have like a $50,000 wedding, like people these days, they're making their weddings look like proms and shit. You have like 500 people there, like at least 90% of the people, you don't even know who the fuck they are.
Right.
That's the part that I don't really believe in because I feel like it's such a show. It's almost like, here's my chance to have a show about myself and I want to have everyone there. And it's like, to me, if you really wanted to celebrate like a coming together of you and your significant other, it should be very intimate, it should be very small, and you definitely shouldn't be spending $50,000. Like these days, people spend like 10K on a ring.
Yeah.
10K can go to a lot of things. 50K can go to a down payment on a house together. It can go to something productive rather than just burning it in air over one night.
Well, what would you say to the person then that's like, hey, I'm only gonna do this once in my life, and I have a lot of friends and family members, some of which I haven't been as close to as I want to be, but I want them to be part of this like once in a lifetime occasion for me, and I want it to be where everyone can just chill, come in their like Sunday's best, look sharp as hell, and they get to celebrate this like monumental moment with me.
I think that's bullshit.
Why?
I think if you really cared about those people, you wouldn't wait for a life-changing moment to try to reestablish all those connections. Like, I've been to so many motherfucking weddings these days, and all the people at these weddings, half the times when I'm there, I'm like, hey, who's that guy over there? The bride or the groom, like, dude, honestly, I don't even know. Or they'll be like, dude, or they'll be like, they'll have someone that it's not their parents' contact, and they'll be like, hey, what's up, man? Yo, remember in second grade, like, you were eating that orange? That's crazy. And I'm like, and they would walk away, and I'm like, that's the only thing you guys have in common? Like, yeah, I haven't seen that guy in second grade. I'm like, why'd you invite him? Well, I don't know, it's just, I mean, he's a friend. I'm like, right, he's your friend, because the last time you guys talked was in second grade.
But a lot of it has to do with like cultural politics too, where it's, for example, I know my parents would be this way. It's like, I would probably, if I was in your position and I was thinking the way you're thinking, then I would want it to be intimate, and I want it to be the immediate people that actually, like, I actually communicate and talk with. But they would have a sense of responsibility to be like, hey, well, I am like the head of this part of the family still, so I need to make sure that there's harmony within all family members, and you have to invite your aunt or else she's gonna feel sad, because in your aunt's eyes, she sees you as like, someone that she really loves, and if you have this monumental life-changing moment and she's not part of it, she's gonna be really sad. And like Bart would probably be thinking like, hey, what the hell? Like, I don't even talk to her, she doesn't talk to me, why would she be hurt? But my dad or your dad would
honestly, I wouldn't. If that aunt really had that influence on me and I felt that type of affection from her, I would invite her. But if it takes someone to convince you of something, then that naturally hasn't happened, and that motherfucker isn't gonna be invited to my wedding. I don't need someone else to come and tell me how I should feel about that other person, Because if that person, like for example, my dad doesn't need to come and tell me, hey, you know what, my sister, she really loves you. She's been taking care of you ever since you were a kid, and even when you graduated high school, like she was there for you. She was at your graduation. Like, I would feel all of that. I'm like, which sister? I mean, the invisible sister that was fucking halfway across the nation that I never heard of, only like once every 5 years. You know what I mean? Like, if I really felt that presence from someone, like my dad does have an aunt that has really helped me out and really believed in me, and I don't even need my dad to tell me, and I'm gonna invite her to my wedding.
Right.
But the other motherfuckers that I don't really know, like the other 200-300 people that people usually include at their wedding, those are the people that I don't want. And I think those are the people that you're paying food for, and you're trying to like elicit their company, and you end up spending like $50K on this grand event that I feel like is not even really a big deal. It's almost like this. It's almost like people that spend like $50K on like a Sweet 16. Like the ballers that do that. Like there's no, what's the point? What's the point in it,
Well, what then do you... So you said that having a small intimate wedding is cool with you.
Honestly, I don't even want a wedding. I'd rather just, you and I, if we were to get married, we handle the business part of it because there are a lot of tax benefits. We go there.
True that.
And then, and honestly, if we were to get married and you don't even want to take my last name on, that's cool with me too.
Really?
I'm super liberal minded. If you want to have a whack ass last name for the rest of your life, I don't care. But if you want if you want a dope one, then I mean that's on you.
Take that.
But for example, for like I'm super liberal. Even for our kids, if our kid.
Why did you have to hold your face?
I don't know. I just got a haircut and it feels good. But if we had a kid, right, and our kid had both of our last names, which I think should, because I don't know. Like, see, that's another thing that I have against the traditional like wedding institution, where the kid only takes on the dad's name, or in some cultures only the mom's name. Well, the kid was made by two people. I feel like that kid should have both people's last names together to be equal. Like, that's what I would want too, But I kind of forgot I was going.
Well, why do you feel the need to get married then?
Oh, so aside from the business and aside from the tax things, that's the reason why I feel like that piece of paper, I feel like that's enough. What I would do is take a picture of that on Instagram, let everyone know. Everyone's like, all right, cool, they're married. I don't even need the ceremony. But because there are some traditional motherfuckers out there.
For example, who?
For example, like a family.
Right.
I have to do like a little ceremony so that it appeases them. Just as I don't like other people imposing their beliefs on me. It is somewhat disrespectful too if I were to impose my beliefs on your family.
On them, right.